This video is powered by LearnToPlay.live, the only hardware synth performance course. Register now and enjoy 40% off. Hey, what's up, I'm Analog Kitchen, and thank you for checking out yet another video. Now, if this is your first time here, don't hesitate to click subscribe and hit that notification bell. Whenever I upload a new video, you'll be kept in the loop and you'll not miss out on anything. Stick around till the end of this video. I will tell you all about LearnToPlay.live, a new platform, and that will be starting in September. And for all of y'all waiting for electronic songwriting for techno music, I have got good news. As a matter of fact, it is filmed, it's uploaded, it's transcribed, and as of next week, it will be coming to you. Now, what you're seeing right here is something I broadcasted last week, but now I'm going to tell you what I am doing. You see a modular synthesizer, you see an octa-track, a 1010 black box, there is a mini tower, there is a Acid Box 3, and there is a Zone 96 mixer. I am going to bump it up. The sound that you're hearing right now is coming from the modular. I've got an oscillator that is getting triggered by a Metropolis sequencer, and the gate function makes it so that if I turn the gate left, the sound is going to be shorter, or certain notes you won't hear, and if I turn that knob to the right, it obviously is going to play more notes. It's the funniest thing because it looks like I'm totally convinced of myself and everything is going well, but I'm very nervous. The party started at 3 in the afternoon. It's 5 o'clock now, say maybe 10 past 5. I've just started and I still need to just like glue the dance floor together. Now, how does that work? I'm going to start with a theme, which is going to come off the octa-track. I've got like 6 tracks on the octa-track dedicated to drums, and track 5 tracks dedicated to drums on the octa-track, with the first one being the kick. Here the sound comes in. And then track 6 and 7 are melodic content sounds, so something like that. This is beat repeat, then I'm triggering. You can see the geezer in the white jersey going, in the white sweater going crazy. He's speaker hugging. But at this stage, the crowd is still like, hey, I didn't see you for a long time, what are you doing? And they're just getting in. It's basically a lot of people that know each other, so that means that there's a lot of social business going on the dance floor, so they're not really in the zone yet, which is weird because the sound is loud as hell. Okay, so now I'm doing a drop or a breakdown. On the crossfader, I've got cutoff on the kick. So once I just go into that beat repeat thing, also the low end of the kick is going away, as you can hear. Now there's a timing thing. I'm going to start a hi-hat and release the kick again, so you make it a transition. It's really cool. Try it out. It gives longevity to something that's really kind of static, but it's a hamster wheel move. Here I'm entering the snare drum that's coming off the Nano Modules Octa. That's a new module coming out. It's an 808, well, sort of like an 808 emulation with a kick, a snare, and a closed and an open head. And the Steppy is sequencing the snare drum, so the IntelliGel Steppy sequencer. And I can open it up. So I don't know what it is with an 808 snare drum. It really, really works to get your groove propelling forward. There's a clap on the one. That clap is coming off the 1010 black box. So at this stage, I'm pretty much gauging how the sound is in the room, and the monitors are really, really, well EQ'd. So I'm adding in some vocal bits as well. There's another breakdown. Now, in terms of routing, I'd like to have my kit separately on the mixer, and then the stereo of the Octatrack goes on a different separate fader. So you can pretty much work in advance on how you would like to structure the next move. Making a nice build up here with the beat repeat. I'm going to release it looking at arming the tracks. Yeah. Cool. You see that the crowd now is getting where I'm coming from. If I keep this stuff up for another 15 minutes, people are going to get into the zone. You see that they are finally vibing. Now, if they get where I'm coming from, I try to just keep it simple. So I'm not going to overly put in more stuff. This bump going on over there. Nice. Now, you might wonder, how do you get longevity on a set like this? Because it sounds pretty, like atonal. There's three things that are happening. My kick drum, which is coming from the... it's coming from the Octatrack. I've got some modules for it now, but it comes from the Octatrack. Now I'm starting to introduce a little bit of music, which is a bold move because I'm not so sure how they're going to respond to it. Out of rec, they were really going for that really crazy stuff. So I'm gonna move to the rhythm sample, as you can hear. Not that it's making any we're not listening to it. So you throw your kick in, you throw your snare in, you throw the vocal in, but you leave the heads out. And then we're gonna build it up. Probably right now I'm gonna add in another breakdown. This filter that I'm using is connected to the output of the 1010 black box. So if I'm playing these modulated samples or vocals or whatever, I get to, just have an impact. Just like filter it down. And that's nice because you can add something that starts on the black box. I just added this clap. Pop, chicka, pop. And now you can build it up and add more drums to it. Now without the drum roll off, See, now you can hear that it's on that beat repeat. There we go again. Yeah, nice. another hypnotic moment I'm trying to just create here. I really enjoy it. I really like that it's just weird. So sometimes I like to have like melodics or semi-melodics, which I just change up with real atonal stuff. I also like old school ravey stuff, so I'm going to now make a switch on the octave track and go to a different bank where a breakbeat is playing. You see, that's how fast it went. I just went to bank B1. So, and now I can listen on my pre-fader listening what's happening. I made sure that on track 1 all the kick drums are the same level. So, I mean, you don't hear it here, but believe me, I myself, I'm never going to stand in front of the speakers with this. It's just way loud. Okay, playing around with the octave snare again of the modular. Cool. Adding in a hi-hat and a breakbeat. So it's all to do with where's the space? Where do you find room to enter some stuff in? Playing around with a ride or just testing stuff out. Instead of a beat repeat on this bank, I have got a delay on scene B of the fader. So now we go 1, 2, 3, back in. What I really like about modular is the fact that whatever I try turns out to be something different. Here I got like something of a, I don't know, weird sequence that's playing. If you look above my hand, you see that little red light blinking. There's a few actually. But this is the Metropolis that is getting a reset constantly, so it's starting. You can set the Metropolis to just play different steps in repeat before it progresses forward. Now I can hear there's a clap, but I think that the filter is going to be up on the Denton Black box. This is an Ericsson's filter, black low pass filter that I'm using. And a kick loud, so a few elements. I'm trying to keep it fairly simple. Taking out low end, so all the banks I've done the same programming. All the low end needs to go out when I move the fader. Boom. I'm going to open up the filter more, as you can see. Yeah, there you go. So this gives an extra sort of drive. Okay, what else is going to come in? I'm heavily relying on the power of my kick drum, by the way, so that's why I take longer to set the next move. So I'm contemplating where am I going. Disclaimer, I told you about cooked levels. We're getting into the red zone right now. So this is silence before the storm. Here we go. And it's funny to see how this is an old school kind of crowd, because this rave stab piano that I think that a lot of you already know. I'm looking into the chat, and I can just point out Lemmy. I can point out a few other cats that know about this warehouse, smoke, strobo, and we're not going home vibe. This is just absolutely going to be Simon as well. I know exactly that this is the kind of vibe we used to lose our shit to back in the day. Yeah, it's cool. But this is me also overcooking the levels even more, because breakbeat in, I'm loving this. It's just old school rave vibe. I really love it. It was very simple, but then again we were happy with literally nothing at all. As comparison to the sound of today, I think that the crowd nowadays is pretty spoiled. And that's not a bad thing, because with progress comes more things, and with more things comes more anticipation, and we want more. But this sound, whoa. Okay, does anybody say we need more cowbell? I think we need more snare drum. I didn't mention that I had a Strymon Black Sky, and I'm opening that up to, so I opened it up, and then when the kick came in, I just closed it again. So on the send on the mixer, I'm actually sending in a lot of reverb to just give a little bit of space. Now you hear a flanging. That is because, of course, I was coming with a race out, coming out of the same Q output as the kick, and I needed to quickly switch to a different output, so that's what I did. So you heard the 2-1 hitting each other, because if I take my kick out on the mixer, it would mean that that rave sound is also going to go away. So once I saw like, oh shit, it's not coming out of the right output, it was easy to just turn down the Q output, which is the second output on the octave track. They got 4 outputs, so 4 inputs, 4 mono inputs, 4 mono outputs, so 2 stereo in, 2 stereo out. Okay, next move. Do you see how it picks up? How the crowd is thinking like, okay, yeah, so this means I got something that I've set out and built up in a logical manner for them to just stay on the floor. There we go. I'm loving this octa module and that snare. Like an Uzi. Nano systems, nano instruments, octa. This is weird and confusing because I've got an octa track and an octa module, and they're not the same thing. They don't even live in the same street. This is where I cut off the video last week because I thought like, oh no, it's going to get louder and louder. But you know what? I was speaking to a few cats in the chat, and the chat is what we do after the video. After the video premiere, if you sign up to patreon.com/analogkitchen, you get to just like chat and hang out on Discord, which is cool. So it's going to be an interesting one. Now I'm going to make a drastic turn. I'm going to now go fully melodic. I want to just make sure that I'm not only going to just go for this four to the floor type business. So I'm going to make a switch. First the melody, and then I'm going to change the bank on the octave track. Check it out. Prepare myself. Delay. Not everything is on delay. Only the stuff of the octave track is being affected by the crossfader, obviously. That means that if I've got right cymbals, I need to change. And it's fun to see how different sounds make people dance differently, you know? Now they're more vibing and going in a direction of thinking, oh shit, I should have brought more of this stuff, you know? So, on my pre-fader listening, I have now tweaked my modular and Metropolis sequencer in key with what is playing, because I know, since I don't have a lot of melodic stuff left, I have to just make a switch back to this kind of vibe. And that's that. No more dreaming, no more flying. We're gonna go back to Crazyville. I'm liking the fact that these tracks are actually going to get released. Like the rave track that you heard just now, that's a label that has shown an interest after listening to the video, so that was absolutely amazing. So I'm trying to just actually gel together different styles. This is really like Detroit techno with a clap on the one, but I'm doing that over melodic techno, you see what I mean? So it's just weird, another space line. So sometimes I use the Minitar, but sometimes you just want to just like, yeah, I will cut corners, and this is a sample. Yeah, there you go. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I mean, what is... Ah, there it is. I lost the sound, so I think I was doing something weird. So I'll do that break again. 2, 3, go. There you go. I lost the sound there for a second. But you see, this is what we sometimes worry about. Like, oh my god, and I screwed it up and nothing happened when I did this. And did the crowd respond? Did anybody leave the floor? As a matter of fact, more people are coming on the floor. Somebody likes my octa. It's a speaker hugger guy again. He's in the zone. Here we go. Here's a trick that I showed you a few weeks ago actually. It kind of happened by accident. Now, usually I take low out on the crossfader, but what happened now is that there's a different kick sitting on the other side. So in one sequence here, I can switch to the other side and then there's a deeper kick. So I'm not losing any energy. Back to the other kick. So one is tonal, boom, 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 something like that. And it all happened by accident. See? So now I'm playing around with just low end. So over on the other side, you can hear that, now I'm taking them out, but you can hear that there's just a lot of low end, and I can build that up. If you watch my channel, you know about the 4, the 2, and the 1 type sequences. Sometimes I've got a sequence that runs for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. This sequence is even 1, 1, 1, 1. So within a 4-bar loop, there's 4 times the same thing. Now, if you're speeding up the pace on your dance floor, start with longer sequences, maybe 8. And then once you see that the crowd is into it, start speeding up the hamster wheel by going from 8 to 4. That's what the breakbeat was. And then in the end it will revolve, but then you get to a 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I'm playing something off the octatrack. That's a 1-bar sequence, or it's going for 4 notes, while the other sequence I place in the background is going for 1. So now you get a cadence, and the call and response is on the last note. 1. Now in a second I'm going to just open up the LFO on the Minitar, because then I don't want to play around with the melodics of it. I just want to make sure that it becomes noise. There's no reverb on it because I wired it wrong, so it's on auxiliary send 4. So this is warehouse business. You clearly hear the bass drum sitting on the other side. So everything is loose. There's no program change going on. Every machine pretty much does its own thing. The MIDI, I'm triggering the octatrack I'm triggering the Minitar from the octatrack MIDI. And then there are a few things, so certain elements get their own clock, like the modular, for instance. Now here comes a shameful moment. I am actually going to play something on the octatrack in a second and change the change the sequence. I'm liking that. So opening up the thing. So ideally, it sounds like there's a lot going on, but there's not so many things going on because obviously I've only got 4 different stereo faders and 2 mono faders and a few auxiliary stands. So you have to do more with less, basically, and that's what I think worked out well for me here. If you want to learn how to do this kind of stuff, by the way, Shameless blog, you have to check out learntoplay.live. I keep saying it, and it's absolutely amazing. Spots are filling, people are joining the herd, and that's really cool. Because, yeah, I think the old school form of DJing is, I think everybody pretty much knows what it is. People want to just bring something extra, and here we go. Oh no. Finally, I was thirsty, so somebody brought me some water. That's cool. Stay well clear of the modular. Okay, now I'm going to clear all the notes. There you go. So I've cleared all the notes. I'm going to record it in now. It's going to go pretty fast, so put it in record. Bam. There we go. Bam, 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 bam. So record it in the octatrack. Make sure that I get out of there. The other bass room on the other side. Okay, now the trick is playing with lengths and playing with volume and also with pitch on one oscillator. Length here. Kick drum in. You see how simple wins the race most of the time. Listen to the other kick drum, man. This is an eardrum bounce, it's like toothpaste in your eardrum. Okay, so now I'm going back to my roots by playing a little bit of a soca rhythm here, by adding in the snares on a different measure. See Ricardo coming up to me, he's the promoter for the party, he's filming everything. much here. I'm hiding in the background. It's just been one of those weeks with finalizing electronic songwriting for techno music. I had to really make sure that it's different from what I do on YouTube, and that it's different. Needs to be a lead into the bigger course that we're doing, Learn to Play Taught Live, obviously. But it was an act that left my body sideways. Sorry to put an imprint on your brain right there, but it's all good. Now, thanks. Also thanks to Caesar, he pushed me over the edge, saying you know what, you overcooked the levels. Okay, just put it out there and let us be the judge of that. So, as you can hear now, it's getting really toasty. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far into the video, you sir or ma'am are an absolute superstar. My name is Analog Kitchen, and with that said, this concludes our broadcast today. Next week I'll be back with another video. Share, like, tell all your friends about it. Not anything else. I'll catch you next week. And with that said, I'll leave you and love you.